some PSL maybe. On short notice, I should be able to book or steward. There's some bagel places do it I like going to by the courthouse down in that area.
Okay. What, St. Lucie?
No,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
but I said, Port St. Lucie to reside, so I don't have to come all the way home and then, just a night and then come home. Like, come on sometime.
Yeah, around Confusion Corner,
Sorry to hold you.
Remember to disclose the ex parte on Tuesday night when I asked you guys for that content? If you spoke with the applicant on Tuesday night.
Oh, okay, because you didn't call me.
No, I'll call you once we start, but just remember to disclose that.
Good morning. Thank you so much for attending. We're going to call the Town of Mangonia Park Planning and Zoning Board meeting of November 19th, 2021 into session. Roll call, please.
Mayor Alder.
Here.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
Here.
And Councilmember Smith.
Here.
Thank you so much. We do have a quorum, and we do have the applicant with us by way of phone. And thank you so much for joining us. So at this time, we are here to review special exception 2021-01. Of course, this is general water cremation with the revolving owner. So we're going to go to a committee to see if there's anything to be shared. And then we'll
Yes, sir, thank you. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, as you said, it's a special exception application SC 2021-01, Gentle Water Cremation. Tina Robillata, owner, 524 Sepulveda Boulevard, Suite 312, Los Angeles, California. Requests a special exception to allow a funeral establishment within the with the water cremation process in the industrial zoning district at 1112 48th Street in Mangonia Park. And I'll turn to the applicant who's on the phone. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, ma'am. Can you state your name for the record?
Tina, can you state your name for the record?
Sure, Tina Robillata.
Thank you, ma'am. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'll turn back to the Planning and Zoning Board and ask if there are any ex parte disclosures that need to be made at this time.
Yes, this is Amir. For the record, there was on our meeting of November 16th, during the course of that meeting.
You spoke with the applicant?
Correct, yes.
Anyone else?
At the presentation on the same meeting, I was present and did make comment here.
Okay. Mr. Smith?
Also present at the same meeting.
Thank you, sir. We'll consider those disclosed.
Thank you so much. So noted for the record. So at this time, we will examine the application before us. Of course, at that time, we had a presentation, so we'll turn the floor now to the applicant to see if there's additional information to be shared.
Tina, go ahead and state your case.
Sure, so my name is Tina Robillata. I am the owner of Gentle Water Cremation. We are a death care company specializing in alkaline hydrolysis, which is water cremation, which is an alternative to traditional plain cremation. We are requesting a special exception to operate as a crematory and funeral establishment at the property at 1112 48th Street in Mangonia Park. Apologies, and I'm hearing a lot of background echo. Is that a problem for anyone else on the phone?
We're not hearing it now.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. So our plan is the existing building includes 6 bays. We plan to take units 1 and 2 for the funeral establishment with crematory. Units 3 through 6 will be leased for industrial use to additional occupants. So if there are other questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Thank you so much. We'll see if there's any questions from council.
No additional questions. I did see the video that was sent to us to view, and you were clear understanding
Okay. Other questions or comments? Now, one question, you stated that bays 1 and 2 would be for the funeral, purposes of the funeral. However, bays 3 and 6 would be leased. Would these be like businesses, or what do you have in mind in terms of leasing? We could take a look at the code to see what's allowed, but what, or would you be anticipating would be those other businesses?
Sure, so, yeah, so, as of right now, one of the units is currently leased to an electrician, and he plans to stay in the building and continue his lease with us. And the owner of the building has expressed an interest in leasing 2 additional bays, once the building has sold to us. So he would stay in 2 bays, and then we will look for someone else to lease the additional space. I don't think that we need someone in a similar industry. I think, we're just looking for nice, responsible tenants, I think is the criteria.
Okay, so these won't be ancillary businesses, they would be totally different professions. Now, a question as it relates to the current owner. You stated they expressed interest in staying. Just for the record, what is the nature of that business?
Sorry, I couldn't hear the last part. What is his what?
The current owner, what is, he's expressed interest in saying, what is the nature of his business that will be continuing with?
So he is currently using the 2 spaces. I think he owns a construction business and is using the units for storage. We will make it very clear. He has quite a bit of things in the existing space right now, including some cars that are making the property not look so nice. So we will be making it clear within our leases that, that the leasees will not be able to store anything outside of their space, and we'll make it very clear that we expect the space to be clean and organized and looking, like an appropriate business.
Okay, so noted. Okay, well, so if there's additional questions or comments, the council has any additional questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, we've had sufficient conversation, information provided through the presentation. We'll go to Ken. You have anything?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Councilman Smith, just to go on the record that if approved today, the applicant understands that they would go through a full site planning process that has not even begun yet. So just stating for the record.
Thank you so much. Amity?
And just to that point, what's before you this morning, as you are well aware, you're very experienced with these planning and zoning board meetings, but this is just approving the use should it be approved today. As the applicant indicated, I think she said that this is in the industrial zone. A special exception approval is required. Your code defines it as funeral homes with or without crematory, so that's the use that's being requested and considered this morning. This one happens to have a crematory associated with it, but that's the language in your code. It's funeral homes with or without crematory. As you know, special exceptions are based on the criteria. You have those in the application before you. The applicant has explained our responses to your special exception standards, which are on page, well, it's not a page number at the bottom, but it says special exception standards at the top. So as you know, similar to variance applications, your evaluation today is whether or not you think the applicant has met her burden to meet all of those criteria by competent and substantial evidence.
Thank you so much, Amity. And we'll see if there's anything else as we're considering. Just as council is reviewing and considering, for the record, we noticed that all of the adjacent businesses were notified as well. So we've done all the necessary publications and notifications.
Yes, the publication was made in the paper, and your town clerk, the backup is in your file as well for the notices that were required.
Okay, that's so noted. And just for the record, I know that there's silence right now, but for the record, just for the record, council is actually reviewing for consideration. Thank you so much. We'll see now if council has any additional questions or comments. Hearing none, we do have this before us, and of course, as we've been discussing, the MASC, Special Exception 2021-01 for gentle water cremation. If there's no additional questions or comments, what is your pleasure?
If we could, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry to interrupt before any motions, if we could solicit public comment. Thank you, sir.
My apologies. I always forget in these special. Let's take a look and see if there's anyone joining us that has any comments or questions, or we have someone from the floor. We'll open the floor to public comment.
There are no viewers on YouTube, by the way.
Okay. Okay, seeing that there's no comment from the public, we'll close the floor to public comment and return back now to the dais to see if there's any additional questions or comments.
Was there any reply from any of the notifications that were sent to the neighboring residents and businesses? Was there any reply from any of the residents and businesses that were notified?
None via email or none in person or none via telephone. It's in the industrial district, very seldom do you get a reply.
Nothing else? So with that, hearing none, no further discussions or questions, motion please.
Mr. Mayor, do proper review and move that we approve the request for a special exception for gentle water cremation. The address at 1112 48th Street.
It has been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions on the motion? And if I may, we'll have the attorney just restate what we're doing here so that the applicant is clear of the other processes that's involved.
Yes, sir. So what's been moved this morning is for approval solely for the use. So as I stated earlier, your code requires special exception approval for funeral homes with or without crematory. So this morning's hearing is strictly about use. As Manager Metcalf indicated, the applicant will be, should this be granted, will be required to go through the regular site plan process to ensure that any redevelopment of the site conforms with the town code. But this morning's hearing is strictly approval of the use.
Thank you so much. And the applicant is aware of that and understands?
And you're aware that today's meeting is just to approve the use, and that if approved, the full site planning process would then take effect, and that you would be obligated to that.
Yes, I understand that.
Thank you so much. Seeing that the motion has been made and seconded, questions have been asked, and the applicant is aware of the process here today. With that, seeing that there's no other questions or comments, roll call, please.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Johnson? Yes. And Mayor O'Leary?
Yes. Thank you so much. Seeing that that was the only business before us, motion for adjournment.
Motion for adjournment.
A motion has been made. Is there a second? Properly moved and seconded. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. It is carried. Thanks so much. And have a great day and a great weekend. And have a great holiday.